Take a second. Picture your bathroom cabinet right now. That cluttered little shelf above your sink, maybe next to your toothbrush or your daily meds. How many bottles are in there? Multivitamins, calcium pills, iron capsules, fish oil, brain boosters, nerve formulas. Maybe you bought them because a doctor once said they might help, or because the label said, "For seniors," in big comforting letters. But what if I told you that after 65, some of those innocent-looking pills might be the worst thing you could do for your health? Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But this isn't internet fear-mongering. This is clinical science most people never hear about. The Journal of the American Medical Association published evidence that seniors who take the wrong supplements, even at normal doses, have up to a 40% higher risk of early death. Not from accidents, not from genetics, but from slowly poisoning their own cells, day after day. Here's the part that feels almost cruel. You can't feel it happening. These vitamins don't knock you out overnight. They don't make you break out in hives or double over in pain. They're silent, subtle, and they mimic exactly what you'd expect from aging. Think about that. The dizziness, the joint pain, the memory fog, the fatigue that you blame on getting old. Could it be, at least partly, the result of nutrients that quietly build up, damage your organs, and scramble your nervous system? And what about your liver? Remember when you were 25? Your liver could handle a Saturday night out, that greasy burger, the occasional extra drink. But now, after 65, your liver shrinks in volume, blood flow slows, enzyme activity drops. So, every vitamin that relies on your liver to process or store, it starts to pile up like an overfilled trash can that no one empties anymore. Your kidneys? Same story. They can't flush the overload like they used to. So what happens? That overload settles into your tissues, your heart, your joints, your brain, and your nerves. They're more fragile than ever. As you age, your protective myelin sheaths, the insulation around your nerves, wear thin. That makes them more vulnerable to damage from certain nutrients that should help, but in excess, short-circuit the whole system. It's tragic because you're doing it to feel better, to live longer. But without the right knowledge, you could be making it worse. That's why, in this deep dive, we're going to pull back the curtain on the 4 vitamins you should absolutely never take after 65, unless your doctor has tested and confirmed you need them. And then, stay with me. I'll show you the 4 powerhouse nutrients that have the strongest evidence for helping you stay alive longer. Think clearer, sleep deeper, and move freer. And you won't hear this from a random influencer. These are real peer-reviewed findings. So before we begin, I want you to look around your bathroom. Picture every pill bottle and ask yourself, could this be the reason I'm feeling old? You might be shocked by the answer. Asterisk, let's get into it. And I need you to listen like your life depends on it. Because in some ways, it does. Number 4, vitamin A, specifically retinol. When you hear vitamin A, you probably think carrots and good eyesight. And that's true in the right form. But the problem is, many multivitamins for seniors include vitamin A in its preformed version, retinol or retinol palmitate. That's not beta-carotene from veggies. That's the concentrated form your body can't easily get rid. OF. And here's the kicker. Vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means it's stored, not flushed. Picture your liver like a storage unit. With every pill, you're stacking more boxes in that unit. But your aging liver is smaller, weaker, slower. Those boxes never get cleared out. Over the years, they stack so high they crush the whole system. Do you know what that looks like? Dry, flaky skin that never heals. Dizzy spells that you think are just part of getting old. Blurred vision that isn't fixed by new glasses. Achy joints that your doctor calls arthritis, but might actually be vitamin A toxicity. The European Journal of Clinical Nutrition linked excess retinol intake to a 25% increase in atrial fibrillation, a dangerous irregular heartbeat that can lead to stroke. It gets worse. Vitamin A overload can weaken your bones, raising fracture risk, the very opposite of what you think it's doing. The safe bet? Ditch the retinol supplements. Get your vitamin A naturally from carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, where it's present as beta-carotene. Your body converts only what it needs. No excess, no storage overload, no silent sabotage. Number 3. Iron, the fatigue fighter that can quietly inflame your brain and liver. I bet you've heard it a million times. You're tired? Maybe you're anemic. Take some iron. And for some people, that's true. But here's what they don't tell you. After menopause, women stop losing blood every month, so iron loss slows to a crawl. For men, iron loss basically stops after puberty. Unless you've had major blood loss, ulcers, or a diagnosed deficiency, you probably don't need iron supplements. But guess what? Most senior multivitamins still pack it in, just in case. And that, just in case, can be deadly. Iron is another nutrient that accumulates. Your body stores it in your liver, heart, and pancreas. Over time, high iron levels generate oxidative stress. That's a fancy way of saying they unleash unstable molecules that shred your cells like tiny knives. This damage is linked to Alzheimer's, heart disease, even cancer. The scary part? The early signs are subtle. Joint pain, fatigue, brain fog, palpitations. They sound like normal aging, right? But it could be iron overload, a slow-motion train wreck inside your organs. Before you pop that iron pill, ask your doctor for a ferritin test. If you're normal or high, stop. Look for multivitamins labeled iron-free. And if you still eat red meat, beans, and leafy greens, you're likely covered naturally. Think about it. You can always add iron later if you really need it, but you can't reverse years of damage overnight. Number 2. Calcium, the bone builder that can quietly calcify your arteries. This one is heartbreaking because so many seniors swear by calcium. You see it everywhere. Strong bones, fewer fractures. But here's what most pamphlets don't tell you. After 65, your bones stop soaking up calcium the way they used to, especially if you don't have enough vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 to guide it. So where does that calcium go? Straight into your soft tissues, into your joints, where it stiffens you up, into your blood vessels, where it turns flexible arteries into rigid pipes. Multiple studies have found that standalone calcium supplements can actually increase your risk of heart attack and stroke. Let that sink in. You think you're strengthening your bones, but you're hardening your arteries. The signs? Constipation, bloating, kidney stones, and ironically, more fractures because the calcium isn't getting where it needs to go. So what's better? Eat your calcium. Leafy greens, yogurt, sardines with bones, almonds. If you do supplement, keep it balanced. D3 and K2 work like traffic cops for calcium, guiding it to your bones and keeping it out of your arteries. Without them, you're playing with fire. Number 1. Vitamin B6, the sneaky nerve wrecker. This one shocks people. B6 is water-soluble, so you think you can't overdose. Wrong. Unlike other B vitamins, B6 builds up in your nerve tissue. High doses, especially stacked across multiple supplements, your multivitamin, your nerve health pill, your energy booster, can push you into dangerous territory. The result? Tingling hands, numb feet, balance problems that mimic diabetic neuropathy. You might think it's diabetes, but it's B6 toxicity. Seniors are especially at risk because your metabolism is slower and your nerves are more vulnerable. The safe dose? just 1.5 to 1.7 milligrams per day. Many brain pills pack 50 to 100 milligrams to 30 times what you need. Always check the label. Get your B6 from chickpeas, tuna, turkey, bananas. Don't let an innocent label steal your balance and mobility. All right, you made it through the scary part. You know which 4 so-called healthy vitamins could actually be pushing you closer to the E instead of away from it. But let's flip the coin now, because the truth is, your aging body still needs the right support. The right vitamins can mean the difference between waking up every day with stiff joints, poor memory, and a heart that skips beats, or standing tall, steady on your feet, and sharp enough to remember every birthday and every precious detail of your grandkids' lives. So, what should you be taking daily? Let's start from the bottom up, counting down from number 4 to the single most powerful daily nutrient for seniors. Number 4, magnesium, your calm, your sleep, your heartbeat. In a single mineral, magnesium is criminally underrated. It's involved in over 300 enzyme reactions in your body. Yet studies show nearly 70% of older adults aren't getting enough. Why? Because as you age, your gut struggles to absorb it, your kidneys waste more, and common meds like diuretics and acid blockers flush it out like it's nothing. And you feel it in sneaky ways. Restless sleep, leg cramps that wake you up at 3 a.m., an irregular heartbeat that makes you gasp for breath, or a creeping anxiety that you can't explain. I've seen seniors transform their sleep quality, balance, and mood just by restoring magnesium levels. But here's the kicker. Not all magnesium supplements work the same. That cheap bottle at the pharmacy? Probably magnesium oxide, which your body absorbs about as well as you'd absorb a rock. The better choices? Magnesium glycinate 4, relaxation and sleep, magnesium citrate for digestion, or magnesium malate if you struggle with energy and fatigue. And don't forget food: pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, black beans, avocados. The goal is about 250 to 400 milligrams per day. But check with your doctor if you're on meds that mess with magnesium levels. Number 3, vitamin D3, the hormone you thought was just about bones. If I could stand in every senior's kitchen, I'd shout this one from the rooftop. Vitamin D3 is not just a vitamin. It's a hormone. And by the time you hit your late 60s, your skin's ability to make D3 from sunlight drops by more than half. Worse, many seniors spend more time indoors. Wear sunscreen or live in cloudy places. That means your bones, your brain, and your immune system are fighting an uphill battle with zero reinforcements. Low D3 means weaker muscles, so you trip easier. Weaker immunity, so you catch every flu bug going around. Brain fog, low mood, and higher risk of dementia, all linked to low D3, a massive BMJ. Meta-analysis found that seniors with healthy D3 levels had up to a 30% lower risk of dying from all causes. That's huge. So how much do you really need? Most adults should aim for at least 1,000 to 2,000 IU per day, sometimes more in winter. Always take it with food, especially healthy fats, so your body absorbs it fully. And always choose D3. Cholecalciferol, not D2. It's closer to what your skin naturally makes. Number 2, vitamin B12, a brain and leg saver. Imagine losing your memory bit by bit and no one realizing that the fix is so simple. A little more B12. This one hits close to home for so many families. B12 deficiency looks exactly like dementia at first. Confusion, forgetfulness, trouble. Walking, tingling feet. Doctors misdiagnose it all the time because the symptoms overlap with aging. But it's not age. It's a vitamin your stomach just can't grab from food anymore. After 65, your stomach acid declines sharply. That Acid is what breaks B12 away from food proteins. No acid, no B12. And all the eggs, meat, and milk in the world won't help if your gut can't pull it out. So you need it in a free form, methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin. Ideally sublingual, dissolving under your tongue so you bypass the stomach altogether. The safe sweet spot is 500 to 1000 mcg per day, though some need weekly shots if levels are really low. And the best part? B12 is water soluble. What you don't need, you pee out, no buildup. It's like turning on a switch for your brain and your legs again. Suddenly, your walk is steadier. Your memory is sharper. You feel like yourself again. Number 1. Omega-3 South, the real-life life extender. This one is so important, it barely counts as optional. Omega-3 South, specifically EPA and DHA, are the single most researched nutrient for older adults who want to protect their heart, brain, joints, and lifespan. In a study of over 42,000 adults aged 60 plus, those with the highest OMEGA to 3 levels had a 36% lower risk of dying from any cause. 36%. Do you know any drug with stats like that? I don't. Here's the problem. Over 2/3 of seniors are omega-3 deficient. Why? Because we don't eat enough fatty fish anymore, or at all. And the little we do eat often comes from sources polluted with mercury or other toxins. That's why a purified, high-quality fish oil is the single best insurance policy for your brain and heart. Look for one with at least 1,000 milligrams combined EPA and DHA daily. Double that if you're at risk for heart disease or chronic inflammation. Omega-3 South. Don't just protect your ticker. They make up your brain's structure. They help nerves communicate. They keep inflammation down. The same inflammation linked to Alzheimer's, arthritis, heart disease, you name it. Think of them like the oil in your car's engine. You'd never run your car dry, right? So why run your brain dry? And if you're vegan or allergic to fish, there are fantastic algae-based alternatives now that deliver DHA directly. Asterisk, so here's the reality, my friend. The goal is not to fear every vitamin bottle. The goal is to take back control. To get smart about what you take, how much you take, and why you're taking it. There is no magic multivitamin that fixes a bad diet, a sedentary lifestyle, or a lack of testing. But the right ones, in the right form, at the right dose, can be the difference between a body that ages like milk and one that ages like fine wine. Look, aging is inevitable. Feeling old is optional. I know seniors in their late 70s who still garden, hike, dance, and remember every detail of their grandchildren's lives, not because they have good genes, but because they keep learning, testing, and adjusting. They cut the toxic stuff. They fuel their cells. They keep moving. They stay curious. They ask questions that most people are too scared or too lazy to ask. They don't swallow a pill just because the label says healthy. They dig deeper. Let me ask you this. How many people do you know right now? Neighbors, friends at church, old classmates who can't even get out of a chair without help? Who shuffle across the room gripping every piece of furniture like it's a lifeline? Who forget the story they told you yesterday? And how many of them think, well, that's just how it is after 65. It doesn't have to be that way. The smallest changes, cutting out the 4 hidden killers, adding the 4 true protectors, can turn the lights back on inside you. You might just discover that your senior moments weren't aging at all. They were your cells suffocating. For the right fuel. Now tonight, I want you to stand in front of that bathroom cabinet. Open every bottle. Read every label. What are you swallowing out of habit? Out of fear? Out of marketing hype? And what are you not taking that your body is quietly begging for? Have you ever had your B12 tested? Do you even know your vitamin D levels? When was the last time your doctor checked your ferritin or asked about nerve tingling that's brushed off as just diabetes? Maybe it's not that. This is your permission slip to get curious, to get a second opinion, to get a blood test you've put off for years, and to sit with your doctor and say, I want to do this smarter. I want to age on my terms. Because you deserve that. You deserve to hold your grandchild's hand and feel every wrinkle in their tiny fingers. You deserve to remember their laugh, their favorite toy, the way they call your name, not through a fog of brain shrinkage or nerve damage you never needed to have done. So before you go, do me a favor, drop a comment below and tell me honestly, which vitamin shocked you the most? What are you going to toss in the trash tonight? And which of the 4 essentials are you adding to your daily routine? Share your story, because you might inspire someone else to save their own life. 2. Hit the like button if you learned something that could change everything for you or someone you love. And subscribe. Stay connected. Stay curious. Stay armed with real science, not marketing spin. I'll keep digging up the studies, translating the medical jargon, and delivering the truth in plain English, so you can keep living, moving, and remembering who you are. This is your life. These are your years. You fought too hard to get here, to let the wrong pill slowly steal them away. Stay sharp. Stay strong. Stay you. And I'll see you in the next one. Asterisk.